I'm Emma.
And I'm Ellie.
And together we are
E Squared. Welcome back to another episode of Campus Chronicles.
Show brought to you by students for students.
And what are we doing today, Emma?
Today we are here with
Dr. C.D. Marquez, school counselor.
Awesome. And who are you here at the college? Like, what's your role?
Well, I am the campus counselor for the mental health of all the students. So, I'm over at the Student Health Center.
Okay.
Okay, and can you give us like a brief overview of the center you work at and the services offered there?
Sure. So again, we work at the Student Health Center. It's over by the HHPC, in between the Zia building and the gym, basically. Both mental and medical assistance is provided there. We have Cherise Buchanan. She's our nurse practitioner. And then there's me, who does all the mental health issues with the students.
Yeah.
Neat. And what inspired you to seek out this field, especially in like a college setting?
Well, that goes back a few years. Basically, in high school, I had a lot of friends with depression and lost a couple to suicide, to be frank. So that kind of put me on that path, I think, to mental health. And then I've sort of evolved from there to here. To be honest, I did not seek out a college campus. This is a new sort of environment for me. I'm more accustomed to neuro rehab facilities and hospitals. So this is a completely new environment for me.
Yeah,
neat.
But it's been interesting. It's been nice to be back in the area. I grew up here, so.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, yeah. And you're enjoying your time here?
Yes, I am.
Good.
Thus far.
It's a good like change of pace, would you say?
That is the reason. I kind of got tired of the hospital grind and the neuro rehab grind.
Yeah.
And thought I would try something different, a little bit lower speed. I thought at the university level or college level.
Yeah.
Well, good to have you back, yeah.
Is there a specific area that you say you specialize in, or can you help anyone with any type of problem that they might have?
Well, I think in terms of psychology, yes, I'm broadly trained as a generalist. So I got my doctorate in clinical psychology, which is, the traditional sit on the couch and tell me your problems type approach. But I've also, specialized. I'm trained as a clinical neuropsychologist. So after I kind of was doing community-based mental health, depression, anxiety, that sort of things, I specialized after my doctorate in a 2-year postdoc in neuro rehab, or neuropsychology, I should say, really focusing on the brain and what goes wrong with the brain. So a lot of acquired brain injury like TBIs, stroke, that sort of thing, and then trying to help people piece their lives back together after that.
Yeah, okay.
And then in the hospital setting, more just, it's depressing to be in the hospital, so they bring in the psychologist to, to help the MDs and whatnot and the DOs kind of figure out what's depression and what is just your run-of-the-mill, I'm in the hospital, I don't want to be in the hospital, let's get me home sort of deal. So, that's the role I was playing. And now, I don't know if I answered the question, but here at San Juan College, it is kind of a free-for-all. So from the full spectrum, from depression to anxiety, eating disorders to substance abuse, we try to cover it all. Where I do not specialize or where I do not feel competent, we refer out to the community, and that's pretty standard, right? If someone comes across the board that you don't really have a lot of expertise, we send them to someone who does.
That's good to know. You can like transfer other people places.
Yeah, and that if you can't help someone, there's other people in town that can.
That's the idea,
Okay.
Yeah, so a big old support web sounds like.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah. Okay, and you mentioned in your email that you're working on developing new clinical services. Could you tell us about that?
Sure. So the idea was for me not just sit in my office all day and see the individual patient or student. The idea was to kind of beef that up a little bit and create some student groups. So folks that are dealing with depression or anxiety or substance abuse, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So the idea is to have more of a group therapy approach versus an individual approach, kind of just community. It helps when other people are talking to each other about their problems, their shared problems, so that's helpful with groups. And then just workshops on various things like stress awareness, or stress management, I should say, things like that.
I saw. Oh, sorry. I saw a flyer a while back. For a dialectical behavioral therapy sort of thing. Was that you?
That would probably have been Ben. He was my predecessor. He was covering in the gap over the summer until they found someone more permanent. He's more of a DBTer. I am not.
Yeah.
So that's sort of an area of specialty that he was kind of focusing on. But he is now available in the community, whom I now refer to when people
Neat. Okay.
need that type of approach. Yeah.
And then what I was going to say,
Sorry.
would you say, because like having a group of people who say all struggle with substance abuse or depression, would you say that is usually more helpful for people in those situations?
I think it's hit or miss, right? I think, again, it's that shared relationship, that shared experience.
Like feeling not alone in it?
Exactly. So, I can say so much, I can provide so much insight or whatnot, but ultimately, at the end of the day, the patient is the expert on themselves.
Yeah.
So you can bring in a room of experts, i.e. the patients.
Yeah.
They can usually, and I shouldn't say this out loud, but they can probably help themselves out just as well as I can behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
it's a helpful approach.
Yeah. Good to know. And what's the difference between traditional therapy and, your sort of role as a mental health counselor?
Yeah, it's a little blurred. I think traditionally you think of a counselor as, I think in terms of education, right, it's usually master's level type provider. They're focusing on pretty concise issues like day-to-day problems.
Yeah.
Whereas, someone kind of with my background, a psychologist with a doctorate in psychology, we're usually working on like kind of your more significant mental illness, your deeper depressions, your deeper anxieties, personality disorders, that sort of thing. So in that regard, I think psychologists and counselors can work, or somewhat interchangeable. Yeah, I think they're interchangeable in that we both do similar things. I think the psychologist, I guess from my perspective, is a little bit more heavy in the science, I guess, and the theory behind psychology. So really just a different educational, I think, approach.
Background.
And then again, counselors tend to focus more on like the day-to-day, short-term therapy, short-term counseling versus, more in-depth.
Okay. And so if there were more of an in-depth problem with a client, would you recommend them seek, normal practical therapy? Not practical, but,
Sure. The goal here, and I think it's important to mention that the counseling center here at San Juan College is geared to be kind of, I don't want to say like a triage, but kind of, we offer a limited amount of sessions.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The idea isn't for someone to come in and start unloading years and years of trauma. Necessarily. It happens. People come in and they want to talk about that, and that's fine. The idea is for me to identify as soon as possible, hey, you're going to need someone long term because eventually, I go away, you graduate, you leave San Juan College, our services are no longer available. So the goal is always should be, we're driving students into kind of the community where they'll have after San Juan College care.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
And that is something I was kind of like curious about, if like someone feels, I'm jumping ahead, but like if someone wanted a counselor long term, would you recommend they just try to seek out one in the community first, or would you say you're like a good place to start for that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for a lot of the folks here at San Juan College, we're talking about limitations in transportation, limitations in healthcare benefits, right? So sometimes for a lot of folks, community-based isn't necessarily the first step.
Yeah.
And, Farmington is a rural community.
Yeah.
It's rural. It's New Mexico. It's rural. So services are limited. So oftentimes if the students can come to me and we can kind of get a hold on what's going on, get ahead of it. Sometimes we can negate the need to go to the community if we can kind of get ahead of it. But again, if it's a deeper lying issue, it would be helpful. But then again, you think about it, mental health is somewhat still of a taboo, unfortunately.
Yeah.
People we don't like to talk about it. And it's sometimes hard to navigate it. So coming into me kind of a friendly free service type approach.
Yeah.
They can come in, we can sit down and say, hey, this is what psychology is about. This is what mental health services can provide. If I'm not the right person, let's get you someone that is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that could definitely help because, like more of a, or less of an intimidating sort of
Yeah.
environment for
And,
our
like,
first. Yeah,
you don't have to spend money on it. So, yeah.
that's really cool. Yeah.
Okay, so you already answered where you guys are located on campus.
Sure.
But if someone feels like they might need your services, is there like a sign-up process? What times are you available?
There is a sign-up process, multiple ways of going about it. One, you can just walk in. Our front office staff will take care of you, get you set up. If you don't want to do that, we'll take a phone call, right? Just give us a call. And then also students have access to the student portal through your guys'
The, like, my SJC?
something like that.
Yeah.
So they can just go on there and basically schedule any appointment that they're needing.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Usually that process involves the first session's like an intake, which is a little bit longer than an hour, a little over an hour, and I just ask 122 questions.
Yeah.
To get to know the individual and to see if my services are appropriate or if we need to kick them out elsewhere.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And then on the same vein as that, are your services only limited to SJC students because you're on campus?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
It'll be only students.
And is there a cost to your services?
Which I guess you kind of already answered.
Yeah, no, it's free of charge. I'm not allowed to charge behind closed doors anymore. Cool. Just kidding. Joke. No, yes, it is free to students. Again, it is a limited service, but it is one that San Juan College provides. And again, I think I'll just broach. We also have U-Will. It's a telehealth service that we provide, or San Juan College, I should say, provides free to students.
Oh, okay.
They can hop on their computer, hop on their phone, or whatnot, and they can have access to a therapist 24/7, 365.
Nice.
Obviously, which I'm not available 24/7, 365. But that is a service that we do offer to the students.
Yeah.
So, and that's another goes in that vein. If I'm not the right fit, U-Will, can find you the right fit, whether that's, you want a female therapist or African American therapist or what have you, different, all walks of life, I should say. So just different flavors for different folks, I guess.
Sounds good. Yeah. And do you offer walk-in appointments only, or?
Which I guess you also just answered that.
We do offer walk-in sessions, technically. They're very rarely utilized. Not many people just go one day, I think I'm going to go see the counselor or go see the psychologist. It's usually a pre-planned notion most people have. We do have people walk in that are having a particularly bad day or quote-unquote a crisis, right?
Yeah.
Faculty might bring them over, DPS might bring them over.
Yeah.
But we do have walk-in hours that are stationed. Oftentimes, though, I think those get taken up by same-day appointments. Like if someone calls in and says, hey, I need to get in, we have those walk-in hours.
Yeah.
But, again, you can walk in certain hours.
And, sorry.
Oh, sorry. And then I was also curious, do you guys do virtual meetings or is it just in person?
It's just for me, it's just the in-person for now. We're not doing any telehealth services on my end. But, again, we do offer that U-Will service, which is
And
all
is
telehealth.
that an app?
Yes, it is an app. I think you can get on your phone. I should probably know that better. I know the online process. Basically, you get online, go to their website. It's a pretty straightforward not application, but process. You fill in a few questions, and then they get you sorted as to the best fit for you.
Yeah, sounds good. And what would you say are some of the most common types of issues you find students here dealing with?
Well, it's a wide range. I think when I took this job, I thought it was going to be a lot of test anxiety, relationship issues, and kind of homesickness.
Oh, yeah.
That has proven not to be the case. There's a lot of folks out there struggling, depression, a lot of anxiety, substance abuse, some eating disorders, kind of, again, just a whole gamut of things that we're trying to help these students with. So, yeah, wide range, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if someone, because I know you mentioned earlier that, and we know already that mental health is kind of like a taboo subject. What would you say to someone if they feel like scared or shy to reach out to you?
Well, first, don't be. I'm pretty lacking in intimidation. I'm I think over at the clinic we're three-person operation, front desk staff, MA, and Sharice Buchanan and myself, all pretty friendly. We're willing to answer any questions students might have, even if it's just just a phone call. But,
Yeah.
again, I think for most folks, like if you're feeling nervous, you're feeling concerned, hey, that's probably a sign that you might need to come talk to somebody, get
Yeah.
some stuff
Yeah,
off
definitely.
off your chest, if you will.
Okay, well, good to know that you guys are open to talking to new people and stuff. So
And then also in the same vein as that, like I mentioned, it's kind of like taboo. Like some people might have been raised in the way like men don't cry for an example, like
Sure.
people might hear things like that. What would you say to someone who just feels embarrassed about like needing help?
Oh, well, I guess I would tell them to ask their friends, because I'm sure at least one of them in their friend group is open to therapy. Now, in this setting in particular, I have come across some students that are, family doesn't believe in mental health issues. They don't
Yeah.
believe in
Yeah.
depression. They don't believe in that. It's the whole, kind of tighten up the belt and pull up the bootstraps sort of
Yeah.
situation for a lot of folks here. For some, it's religion. Some, it's more the traditional ways, being close to the Navajo reservation. There's some taboos there. So a lot of students will come in and say, hey, my parents don't know I'm here, or my family don't know I'm here.
yeah,
And that's fine. They don't need to know.
Yeah.
They don't need to know you're here as long as you are here. So, yeah, if you're feeling, I think, concerned about coming in, don't be.
Yeah.
It's a proverbial 21st century. I think we're moving past those taboos.
yeah.
That's the hope, at least.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know that your confidentiality sort of extends outside of, just your basic.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't tell people stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, right. Obviously, we maintain doctor-patient confidentiality. I know there's some limits. There's some limits to that. Some caveats to that. I am what they call a mandatory reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right, if I suspect child abuse, abuse of an elder, abuse of a vulnerable adult, I have to report that to CPS or APS.
Sure.
All right, that very seldom comes up. The big ones really are if I think you're a danger to yourself, I have to get you the help you need.
Yeah.
If I think you're a danger to the community at large, I have to get a hold of the authorities as appropriate and make sure you and the community is safe. And then I guess the final, I'll just add as a caveat to the confidentiality, because we do work in a student health center. My nurse practitioner will sometimes communicate to each other if we have a shared patient or
Yeah.
student
Okay.
for continuity of care.
Yeah.
So it might be like, hey, would you follow up on this medication? Or,
Yeah.
hey, has they said anything about this? More that, less than, hey, you're not going to believe what so-and-so
Yeah.
told me this morning. Sit down for this one. Now it's more, it's just for continuity of care. So
Yeah.
Sure.
And those will be the limits of confidentiality.
And what would you say are some of the ways students can prioritize their mental health as they go throughout college?
Well, this isn't going to be a popular answer
Okay.
with faculty and the uppers, but I would say don't sweat the fail test. Don't fail the late paper. In the grand scheme of things, it's a small thing.
Yeah.
At the end of it, like I got my doctorate degree and I've had plenty of late papers and at least one failed test.
Yeah.
So you can bounce back. It's pretty, a lot of the students are coming in, or not all, some of the students come in and they're just like, oh, I'm 2 weeks behind, or I
Yeah.
failed a test, and they kind of catastrophize it. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is college. Enjoy yourself. Don't beat yourself up over the. I mean, don't make it a habit. I should say that. It
Yeah.
should go on record.
That is like actually a really good piece of advice.
Yeah. Guys, like, God knows we've all been behind
Yeah,
that stuff.
definitely.
Okay.
And then what would you say are some common like misconceptions that people might have about your services here?
I think broad stroke, I think there's a misconception about, I think, therapy services in general is I don't give advice.
Yeah.
That sounds weird maybe, but I don't provide advice necessarily. I don't say, hey, maybe you should apply for that job, or maybe he's not right for you.
Yeah.
I don't provide that type of advice. The goal of therapy is helping the individual come to their own solutions and their own decisions, guided, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think that's a misconception. A lot of students or just people will come in and will be like, solve my problems.
Yeah.
What should I do in this
You're
situation?
like, I don't know.
And I do know behind my head, just kidding. I have an idea where it should go. But again, I don't generally say this is what you should do, A, B, or C. It's let's work on it. Let's talk about it. We'll figure it out as we go.
Sounds good. And what resources, if any, would you recommend to people who may not be ready for counseling or therapy?
Yeah, I think that depends, right? I think the new one right now is AI technology.
Yeah.
I've had a few folks come in and say, "Hey, I don't want to tell you this, but I've been using AI as a therapist." And I said, "Please don't tell me that. Don't tell me these things." So no, I would stay away from AI for now. It's a little unpredictable.
Yeah.
For resources out there, though, church, family, friends, lean on someone. You have faculty here.
Sure.
That's the whole point of being in college is you have a community built around you.
Yeah.
I know they say that a lot at universities or college campuses, but that's the fact, right? You have people built around you to support you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, sounds good.
And that is kind of a common theme that I've noticed, that, like, there is something to help anyone with anything here. Like, because we've done a lot of, like, looking at what services the college offers, obviously, for our podcast, and it becomes clear to me that, like, if you're having a bad day, there's people to talk to. If you're struggling with money and you don't think you can eat, like, there's resources for that and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's a crazy amount for just a small community college in the middle of New Mexico.
Yeah, 100%. I was pretty impressed when I kind of did a walkthrough, and we saw the food.
Yeah, food for thought
Thank
stuff.
you.
Yeah.
All that. And then just the student services that are available. And surprising, and I think I don't know, I meet with a lot of students that have no idea about the potential resources.
yeah.
And I think the college as a whole does a pretty good job of broadcasting and advertising it. So I don't know where the disconnect is, but a lot of students come in and they're struggling with food or struggling to pay the bills or get some gas or something, or just where they're living. So I'm always pointing them. That's another kind of resource or job or service I provide, trying to point students in the right direction on campus. So
Cool.
And then with the same kind of vein as that, there's obviously a bunch of staff members here, there's faculty and other students even. What can you say, or what would you say other people on campus can do to support mental health in general on campus?
I think in just one word, just community, right? I don't think we stress that enough. If the old proverbial, you hear something, you see something, say something.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of folks struggling in silence, or, we don't know what's always going on behind closed doors. But every once in a while, people give us a glimpse of how they're managing.
Yeah.
So if the person isn't willing to take that step themselves, to come to mental health counseling or seek help, just be there, community again, and reminding folks that the services are available.
Yeah.
So utilize them, and while you're here, because once you leave campus, it's a whole different life. So.
Interesting. Well, on that note, I think we are just about out of time.
Yes.
So, yeah.
It was very nice to have you on finally.
Yeah, it was great to meet you and have you on the show. So, yeah, appreciate it.
Perfect.
And then we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will see you on the next one.
Yeah. Bye.
And bye, guys.
Thanks.